If Etsy is the only place that you are looking for design inspiration on, you are probably missing out. Today, I'm going to share with you a secret place that I have always used that literally no one in the digital design space or print on demand space is talking about. And then I'll show you how to take the inspiration that you find or the new trends and turn it into a digital design product or print on demand product in just a few minutes with AI. If you are new around here, I am the owner of Bailey Design Co., a 7-figure digital design shop on Etsy, and I now teach others how to create the same types of shops on this YouTube channel and in my online communities. So more often than not, Etsy trends tend to show up late, meaning they are probably already popular on another platform, which is why I've always taught to be looking at marketplaces like Amazon, AliExpress, Shein, and other social media sites like Pinterest or TikTok. Trends are born on these platforms and then they eventually make their way over to Etsy. But here's one more place that you probably haven't heard of, and it is pure gold for print on demand sellers and digital product sellers. The secret site that I'm talking about that I've used is called Faire. So if you aren't familiar with Faire, it is a wholesaler supplier where a wide variety of different types of creators and sellers can sell their products in bulk to people who have small shops or boutiques that sell physical products. Faire is really amazing for finding things like typography trends, different color palettes that are becoming popular, the layout structures of different types of apparel, seasonal patterns, and different types of aesthetics. So like the retro aesthetic, coquette, Y2K, or Western. So the way that I typically use Faire is just to come onto the site and click on women right here, which is what I've selected. Then I'll come over here and click on bestsellers and then sort by trending. This is going to give me everything that's already a bestseller and what is actually trending now, meaning these boutique and shop owners are purchasing these in a higher quantity than other types of products, so it proves that they're in demand. Then all I'm doing, just like if I was trying to pick out patterns on Etsy, is look for different similarities. So already I see camo, and then I see camo in this print here. I see the same type of layout, so a typography, collegiate type font is being used right here, and the layout is that arched, very college wear looking type of design. I see some Christmas stuff going on. For whatever reason, it's putting in socks and scrunchies and keychains and all types of things in here, but maybe it's because I have the bestseller thing turned on there and they think it is also because car diffusers, I don't know how that falls into. Oh, I did do women. I didn't do apparel. So you can do that. You can switch it back to apparel and just get apparel instead of all types of products. But often it's good to look at different products like candles or stickers because a lot of times the designs can be different and you can take it and apply it towards your sweatshirt design or your t-shirt design as well. So I'm seeing something that I have seen on Etsy pop up, and that's the mallard duck trend. And it's usually being done in this retro format here, though I have been seeing it done in the glitter or the faux gemstone. If you are a member of my community, you know we've done a recent prompt on this. And so now that I'm going through these, I'm going to see if I can pick up on anything else that's not Christmas related that would be considered something more evergreen. So the fact that the Mallard Duck air freshener is a bestseller and trending is interesting as well. So 2 times I've seen the duck because again, I'm ignoring all of these Christmas things. Here is another one that's in a semi-related niche where they are selling a camo background with a deer print. So that's interesting to know. I'm really seeing the retro type of like 90s vibe, very realistic watercolor, almost painted style, natural animals popping up all over Etsy. And the duck is just one of the newest ones in conjunction with like the camo really coming back. So now that I've seen a few ducks popular over on Faire, and again, you can repeat that process in as many categories as you want to get different types of ideas and inspiration, I'm just going to do some validation over here in Etsy. So all I've typed in is mallard duck shirt. And it's basically proven it's the same type of layout with it being like a retro graphic design, 90s type vibe of these popular now ones. We have a bestseller here, and this is in that gemstone type of style that I talked about. More bestsellers, more popular now in just different types of variations. Here's another of those gemstones as well. Popular now. So I can really see that right away, and just with the numbers too, with my Profit Tree extension installed here, with some of these listings only being less than a month old, getting lots of sales. This duck trend, or the mallard duck trend, is definitely validated both on one marketplace being fair and of course Etsy where we're selling. Now, like I've shown in many other videos, one of my favorite things to do is cross combine two different types of styles, or maybe a seasonal holiday type of design with a new trending design to be able to stand out and not have any competition and not have it really being done. So what I'm going to do is combine two different things that I see here. So this gemstone faux sparkly type of design, I do want to point out that these are not, it's not actually real, it's printed, it's just created to look really sparkly. And it just has this effect if you use the correct AI generator, which we'll get to in just a moment. And then I'm going to cross combine it with Christmas, though not like the one that is being displayed here, where this is more of the retro realistic type of a vibe. I'm going to do it this way with the gemstones, but add the Christmas elements as well. This could also be repeated across many different holidays. So you could make a 4th of July one, you could make an Easter one, you could do a Halloween one, because if the duck is becoming popular, like certain other animals have in the past, such as raccoons or Highland cows, then this could have that same effect where if you create them all ahead, you'll be able to get way ahead of the competition. Before we jump into actually creating the design, be sure to check out the link in the description for my Etsy starter guide, as it will walk you through exactly how I set up my shop to be able to grow it to over $1 million. It also comes with 100 different AI prompts for you to use as well. So to quickly create this, I'm just over in my favorite AI tool and design editing tool, and that is Kittl. So all I'm going to do is click on New Project, which is right here, change the DPI to 300. What I'm doing right now is just setting up my canvas or my artboard, and I'll just leave it at 5,000 by 5,000 pixels because this is plenty big enough for both selling this as a digital graphic design and on a print-on-demand product like a sweatshirt, which is what we're going to do. Now all I need to do is add a prompt in to describe that type of gemstone duck and have a Santa hat and maybe some jingle bells. So I already have my prompt because, as I mentioned, we've went over this one in the community a few weeks ago because it popped up as a trending item. This is what we do every day in there. I provide a daily trending product that has low competition along with the AI to actually create it, so you're never left with guessing what to design or actually how to create it. Down here in the prompt box, this is where I'm just copying that, and then here is where you want to choose your AI generator. So for me, and testing this several times over the past 4 weeks, the best one in my opinion for a very realistic gemstone effect is to use Seedream 4, so that's what I'm selecting. You can also have it generate multiple images at once if you want some variety and pick from which one you ever think is best. So I'm just switching that to 4, and then that is generating all of them. This is really helpful if you are using this for clip art sets or maybe a bundle of a certain themed type of design, because you're generating them all at once and then you can quickly remove the background and download them all at once. Okay, so here is my first little guy. He is super cute. The jingle bells are placed around his neck perfectly. So I like this one, so we'll put him up here and look at the other one. So this one, he's flying a little, he's a little bit straighter up. There's more jingle bells around him. Hat is still perfect. It doesn't have as much like little sparkly effects. Like this one has a few effects going on here. So that would be the main difference besides the jingle bells. This one, he decided to take his hat off, but still has jingle bells. It has some sparkles in here, though I like the hat with the little gemstones. I just don't know why he put it up there. So we'll get rid of that guy. And then finally, this one is my least favorite out of all of them, just because I don't like how big the hat is and it looks perched up there a little bit awkwardly, while this one fits his head much better. So this one is out as well. So then it's between these two. So I think I'm gonna go with this one because his position is different than some of the other ones. And I like that there's more jingle bells around there. It just stands out a little bit more. And I prefer it actually without the extra sparkles. So next I'm just going to remove the background, which is right here. As you can see, it has like a faint grayish background here, and we don't want that, both for selling as a digital design and for using print on demand. So I'm just centering it there, it snaps in there, and then all I need to do is download this. So I'm just clicking on this download button over here, make sure the background is removed so I don't save it with a white background, and then click optimize quality, which is what I always do, and then download. As you can see, there's nothing white around the edges or anything that I even had to edit or clean up, so it's perfectly usable to sell as is. And just like that, in literally less than a minute, we have a great graphic design ready to use on our products. Also, quick heads up, because this is literally the best deal that Kittl does all year. If you've been wanting Kittl Pro or Expert, it is on sale for their Black Friday sale right now, which is live through November 24th through the 30th. It's 25% off for a full year, and this works for everybody. So new users, current users, monthly users who want to upgrade to annual, and even past users who would like to reactivate. Link for them will be down in the description below, and you can use the code BF2025. If you've been on the monthly plan or maybe the free plan, this is the best time to upgrade because you will save a ton. Now, if you are a digital design seller, your product creation stops here. You would just move on to your mock-up process and list this over to Etsy. Many people in my community also repurpose their digital designs on their print-on-demand shops. As we saw, this bird was popular on both digital designs and on print-on-demand apparel like sweatshirts. Now, personally, for the past 5 years, I have always used Printify as my print-on-demand partner, both on Shopify sites and in my Etsy stores. Printify is amazing because they continually add new products, and there's lots of suppliers that you can choose from. Connecting your Etsy shop is super simple. You just need to have your Etsy shop open, your Printify account opened as well, and then quickly connect your shop and grant access. To easily list your products over to Etsy, you'll just come over to catalog, which is right here, and then pick the item that you want to put your digital design that you just created on, or multiples. So for this particular design, honestly, it could be added to something like a hat, which would be super cute, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, maybe even a coffee mug, since it's like for Christmas and it's Christmas themed. But for this one, I'm gonna add it to a sweatshirt since it just makes the most sense, being Christmas themed and for the winter. So I'm just clicking under women's clothing sweatshirt, which is right here. And then I've always used the Gildan 18,000, which is right here, as well as the Comfort Colors 1466 is a really great option as well. So you'll just click on the image right here, and you'll just want to make sure that it is selected to DTG. We're not doing embroidery. This is exactly an example of something that should never be embroidered due to the amount of colors. It would not turn out sparkly looking. So this is a good example of something that would not work with an embroidered type of style. Then you'll just select a fulfillment option. So I've always chosen manually, and I usually have went with Monster Digital or Swift POD, which is right here. Then you just click Start Designing. Then you just click Upload, which is right here, and then drag in your design. As you continue to create new designs, they will be saved here in your library. If you ever need to make a new design with multiple different graphics that you already have, they'll be in your library for really easy access. Then you'll just want to center it a bit, so I like to bring it all the way up to the top here, and he is well within the little guidelines right here. And then you'll select variants. So these are the colors that you want it to display on. So I want it on ash, on sport gray. I don't think I can have it on red just because I think that the print here would really blend in, even though it is kind of Christmassy. I will check and see if the military green or the forest green, the military green actually would be okay because the green of the duck is a little bit different, but forest green I'm gonna avoid just because I feel like that could blend in, just because I've ordered many of the forest greens and I know that it is very close to this darker color, which is right here. The rest of these wouldn't make sense for this type of design. Oh, it should be on sand. Sand has always been my best seller as far as a color when using sweatshirts, and so those are all that I need to have. And then if you want to see what it looks like mopped up on your product, you can click on preview, which is right here, and then it will show you like how big it is in conjunction to the sweatshirt itself. So if you wanted to make it smaller, you definitely could. You can see it on a person by clicking like that. If I go back to Etsy just to make sure, it looks like most of them are full length, so they are doing it full here. But I don't necessarily want to look at a digital. Well, they're full as well there too. They're doing the top half, they're all fairly taking up the entire space, but these are just more of horizontal designs where my little duck is more vertical. So let me actually play around with him for just a moment. I'm gonna bring him down just a little bit so it's not all the way down here. I want it like mid, which is right there. And then I'll look at preview again, that will look better. And then if I put it on the woman, okay. So I'm gonna leave that as that. And then you just click on save product to move forward. Now here to move forward, you do have to select at least one mock-up. So I'm just doing this one here, as I prefer to use all of my own mock-ups just because they fall in line with more of what's selling on Etsy. So as you can see, lots of folded or flat lay types of mock-ups like these are doing really well. So you want to make sure that your mock-ups are always in line with what's actively selling on Etsy. So flat lay seems to be the most popular, though some of them like this are doing well. Then you'll just click Save Selection, which is right here. And now we're moving on to the important part of filling in our product's information. So I love that Printify now has AI generated titles where you can just put in a few bits of information and then you're going to get the majority of your title ready to go. So if you just click on Improve Listing, which is right here, it's just going to ask you for a brief description of what it is that your design is, and then it will generate the title. So all I did was add some main keywords that this would be searched for by. So faux gemstone, mallard duck, funny, Christmas, and sweatshirt, and then click generate. Okay, so as you can see, it quickly generated the titles. So a lot of good keywords, like I wouldn't have thought of jumper, crew neck. Now I remember that a lot of people do search for that, and it's formatted in a way that it's actually readable. It also adds those keywords down here into the product description and then gives you a lot of keywords that are tags that you can use as well. Then you can just click apply to listing. Now always you want to cross-reference with all of these products that we're seeing over here on Etsy to make sure you're not missing any of the keywords that are popular for these types of items. So I wouldn't put in retro just because that goes along with this type of style. And then if someone is actually looking for a retro one and they see the bedazzled one, then that could lead to lost clicks. So just make sure it always applies to the product that you're actually selling. Next, you can move down here and click your shipping. And then down here is where you can edit the price. So I just leave this and edit the price in bulk by clicking right here. And then I just adjust the profit margin. So that is right here. And you can do this with a percentage. So if you want to make sure that you are making on all of the sizes, because they do fluctuate based on the size, then you would just want to put in, I want a 30% profit margin, and that's going to apply it. And you'll see here on this small one, the profit is $7.53 with your retail price being $25.11 because this is your production cost here. So that's a really way to make sure that you're always hitting your profit margin goal by just setting it that way with the percentage. I do want to recommend that that you keep in mind that most of the time on Etsy, sellers run sales. So you want to keep this price in mind, that if you were to run a 15% off sale or a 25% off sale, is that still going to have the same effect with your profit margin? So you might want to even bump this up a little bit more, knowing that the majority of the time you're going to have some type of sale running. Finally, we have the variant visibility. So I always have selected to have it show only the items that are actually in stock. So the colors and the sizes that are actually in stock that people can select. Then you'll just click publish, and this will immediately publish to your Etsy shop. Again, of course, assuming you have it already set up and connected. Now, to quickly mock up your products with your own mockups if you are using them, I have just always done these in Canva. I have all of my mockups saved in a folder just like this. So you'll just want to select the mockup, and I always purchase my mockups just off of Etsy, though you can get similar ones like these with a Creative Fabrica subscription if you have one of those. Then from your uploaded files, you'll just click on the design that you created, and then make sure you size it where it looks like it was done on the Printify mockup, so they get exactly what is actually going to be printed. So mine was pretty far up, which is about right here. I'm fairly good at just estimating, but you can always pull up your Printify mockup and make sure that it is exact, but it should be about right there. And then just a personal preference that I always do is take down the transparency to about 90-ish, 80, about 88 on this one is going to look perfect, because that is more realistic as far as the vibrancy of when something is actually printed versus a digital graphic design. This is realistically what it looks like on a piece of clothing. With the digital graphics, so if you are just selling the digital graphics, I keep the transparency turned all the way up to the full brightness, because they will be able to print it at whatever type of transparency and level of brightness that they want. And that's it. Then you'll just click download, and then your Etsy listing that you pushed over from Printify will already be in your Etsy listings. So you can just go in there and then add this image to your listing. So while Faire didn't give us a brand new trend that we haven't seen, it definitely provided validation of something that is really popular. And then I was quickly able to see a different type of design style, being the gemstone, and then cross that with a seasonal holiday to get a completely different output and hopefully stand out from the competition. Again, be sure to grab the free starter guide. It will be down in the description below, as it comes with 100 AI prompts that you can use to quickly get started. And if you want to see my entire process on how I would build a new shop in 2026, then be sure to check out this video up here next, as that will guide you along the way. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.